Oh, now we are.
I'm Santa.
I'm Frank.
I'm Kurt Russell.
Oh, God damn it. Man, you there, Frank, and Tom as well. Come in and know me better, man. I'm shaking my belly all around. That's both the Ghost of Christmas Present and Justin speaking. You boys have been naughty. I'm going to teach you what Christmas is of the present variety. What are your thoughts?
Did we say that we're Plaid lads?
We're Plaid lads. All right, let's take that over.
It's your.
No, let's go over to old Bob Cratchit's house where his son is dying, and that's so sad. And then there's your nephew's there. He's a happy lad.
Just Ghost of Christmas Present.
Yeah. Yes.
Do you not recall the plot of A Christmas Carol?
What are you speaking of? Have they written of my works?
A little bit. Well, one guy did.
You know, it's a cute movie, The Man Who Invented Christmas.
Hang on.
Yes.
Ghost of Christmas Present.
Uh-huh.
Let me field this one by you.
Uh-huh.
Have you ever heard of a man named Charles Dickens?
Oh, that turd.
Okay.
That guy made up lots of lies about me.
Like what?
One, he
That's what I thought. It's all true.
Whatever.
It's all true. You wear a large green robe and like a holly wreath around your head.
Yeah, but I can't grow and shrink. Is that just in the Muppet Christmas Carol?
It's just in the Muppet one. He's a big dude the whole time.
That's the best one.
The Muppet Christmas Carol fucking sucks.
Yo,
I'm sorry.
Fuck you. Fuck you. Michael Caine is the best Scrooge. Here's what Scrooge needs. I watched the first half.
Hello, I am
I watched the first half of the fucking one with Patton in it. And it's like, this is boring as shit.
No, the George C. Scott one's the best one.
It's boring as shit. Scrooge should be, like, mythically bad. So that when he changes...
But that's not how he is in the book.
Fuck the book! Fuck the book and fuck you guys. I'm taking you straight to Ghost of Christmas Future where you fuckers die.
Oh, no, Ghost. Please, Ghost. I can change.
I don't believe you.
So anyway, the point of Scrooge in the book is that he is trying to be better, and he doesn't know if he can be. And it's in that moment of self-doubt that he has that visit from the ghosts.
No, it's a evil, douchey man who gets changed one night. It's Christmas magic. It's a miracle.
Hello. It's me, Michael Caine. And I'm being visited by these two fucking puppets who are just mean to everybody. Oh. And they get drunk in the theater and they yell things.
It's Jacob, and guess who the other one's name is? It's Robert, as in Bob Marley hilarious.
It's very funny.
Brilliant joke.
A+ joke.
It is.
I'm sure the kids in the audience who were watching it really got it. They all had Bob Marley legend posters.
I'm convinced that no child has ever seen the Muppets. The Muppets audience is completely consists of older brothers.
The Muppets audience just consistently stays old because it was people who watched it as a kid. And then they just get older and keep liking the Muppets.
Yes.
And little kids watch it and they're like, what the fuck is this shit? I'm gonna go play Fortnite and watch disturbing cartoon videos where Elsa beheads a cat.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Oh, kids these days. I'm not the ghost of Kismet Pebbits. I'm John Vince.
You want to take that one again, Chief?
Now what?
Did you start speaking Elvish there?
Merry Christmas!
Murphy Crimbo.
How's it going, Tom? We're all here for Christmas. It's the most wonderful time of the year if you're so inclined to like Christmas.
2 out of 3 people here are.
That's true.
Well, I just think Christmas can go eat a big one. That's all.
I'm sensing a little bit of a Mr. H.R. Scrooge and stuff. What?
Yeah, sure.
Is your middle name Grinch? Huh? How about your first name? Is it Tom?
Yeah, my name is Tom Grinch H.R. Scrooge and stuff.
It's an ethnic name, Justin. You're being very insensitive.
Oh, no.
It's Bulgarian.
Stop being so vulgarian. What are we doing here, fellas? It's Christmas time. What are your thoughts? We know my thoughts. I'm just going to shut up the rest of this time.
I, for one, enjoy the holiday.
Mm-hmm.
I like the food. It's kind of Thanksgiving, but better food-wise sometimes.
Yeah, because it's more like open. You can, like, people do what you want.
Yeah, there's not like a set meal for the most part the way that there is on Thanksgiving, although my family generally does very similar stuff because they do the Italian thing with the fish.
Oh.
But anytime...
Wait. Not all of us are of the Mediterranean handicap. Explain what the hell the Italian thing with the fish is.
So it's, if I recall, because I'm like a quarter Italian, you get fish and you slap each other with it.
That's exactly it, actually. Well, that's just an Italian man's Monday.
Yes.
He's slapping another man with a fish in his underwear.
Hey, the paisan, I hit you with the fishy.
Yelling for his mother. But no, really, folks, now that I've been racist to Italians, the Italian thing with the fish is on Christmas dinner, you're supposed to eat at least 7 fish courses.
Now this is to celebrate the day when Jesus Christ the baby defeated Neptune, king of the ocean, correct?
That is actually probably closer to it. Like, it's Christianity did a lot of exterminating of those old religions there.
So it was actually you were being silly right there, but you kind of
hit the nail on the head.
You really went for it there. See, I was gonna be racist toward the Italians too, but then I remembered that the Italians. It's funny because I was gonna call them a bunch of fascists.
I mean, they are that.
Yeah, but that's the thing, they are, because one of my favorite things around Christmas is actually to do with the Romans, who are both Italians and fascists, like the original, fascistas, like they like the fascists. Anyway, which is Saturnalia, which you were talking about Neptune. Let's talk about Saturn. The famous Roman Christmas where it was a not Christmas, and it had to do with mirth and merrymaking, and I said it before, but the suspensions of all titles and duties, and the town idiot became the mayor, and the mayor became the town idiot, and they took a week, and everyone got shit-faced and doinked each other, and hung out, and it was great. And that's what I like about Christmas, folks. I like the idea of a magical day in the year where everything's just kind of different and everything comes to a standstill. Now, Christmas can go eat a big one. Mm-hmm. If I can wash the Christ out of Christmas, I could like it.
And I think you can, because it's this weird thing. It's like the enemy of my enemy is my friend. that with the commercialization of Christmas, it's getting Christ out of there. I have nothing against Jesus. I think he was a good man, all of that bullshit. But he has nothing to do with Christmas. Wasn't he supposed to be born in September? It's a complete bullshit thing. But
It was like October.
yeah. With the commercialization of Christmas, that's getting that out of there. So then we just need to fight the commercialization. But the secular Christmas is a beautiful thing. You see it on any Christmas a commercial of just multicultural families celebrating. It's beautiful. It's a nice thing.
I mean, we'll talk about it with the Frasier episode a little bit, kind of.
I've got a problem with the Christmas overload, which I pin squarely on the commercialization of Christmas, which is that we all get so burned out that the moment Christmas is over, we just want to throw all our shit out and take down all our decorations, and we go, no, it's January now, and it's cold, and it's bleak, and we're all just gonna have seasonal affective disorder and be miserable. When my only complaint with Christmas is that it's too early. It's close to the equinox, which is the darkest time of the year, but you know, we make winter this otherwise pretty unbearable experience. We make it wonderful. We make it cozy and spicy and special and sweatery, and there's delicious food and merrymaking and togetherness. And then we do that 3 days after the winter solstice, and then it's over. Take down your lights. Yeah. It's dark. Enjoy the darkness.
It's true. If we could just flip the Christmas season and get that comet's tail going through into February, that would be the
that was some
thing.
Beautiful imagery right there.
Yeah, you're right. We really do flip a switch literally as soon as January 2nd rolls around. Mm-hmm. Like, it's just misery all the time. There's no more reason to have fun until about May, like when the sun comes out again. And then we just kind of start the whole cycle over, because then the fall comes after that, and we begin anew. But yeah, I enjoy the Christmas season. I like eggnog. I like mulled wine. I like coziness. I like Christmas movies for the most part. I don't like the fucking movie we're about to talk about. And I resent Justin forever for last minute putting it on the schedule instead of Stanley Donen's masterpiece Charade.
Eat shit.
We could have talked about It's a Wonderful Life. We could have talked about any of the Christmas Carol movies. We could have talked about anything else. But no, we're in a few minutes, we're going to talk about one of the worst things I've ever seen. Anyway, I like Christmas. I like snacks that come around at Christmas. I like holiday parties. I like drinking.
Have you ever had a mythically good holiday party experience? Like, particularly like an office holiday party experience? Have you ever had like the lampshade on the head, the boss is making out with the secretary, the guy who you assumed would shoot up the place is like playing an accordion and singing in Polish?
No, but we're laughing conspiratorially because I think the two of us know who you're talking about. But no, I have not.
Shout out to Lindsay.
That might happen. Who knows? I think the official office-wide office party is tomorrow night, but I don't think I'm going to go because I have other shit to do. And it's at a huge crowded bar, and I don't feel like doing that. But the regular office party that was just my group was pretty fun. Pretty fun. Lots of drinking, lots of hanging out, having fun. What about you, JJ? What about you, J baby?
Huh? Are you talking to me?
Yes.
Little baby Jesus Christ?
Yes. Fuck.
Well, my favorite Christmas memory was when I was born.
Last year or a couple days in the future?
Wait, what year is it?
Ah! Twin Peaks reference.
On Christmas, my family eats Greek food because we are
Bunch of weirdos.
Are you ethnically?
I am half Irish, probably like 35% Greek and like 15% Italian.
I was wondering why you frequently carried around oily fish and ouzo and baklava. I now have my answer.
Well, that's actually penance. I once stole a chicken from a Greek witch, and am cursed to wander this land like a fucking weirdo.
You gotta wear more open-toed sandals and wife beaters if you really want to get that Mediterranean.
He does wear sandals for approximately 3/4 of the year.
I do, so that's that. But then I was thinking recently that's what everybody should do, because the real savior of Christmas, Santa Claus, Saint Nicholas, was a Greek gentleman.
It's true.
Who, if I may, real quick, go through a few of his miracles. One, he is the patron saint of prostitutes.
Yeah.
And this is because
He patroned a lot of whorehouses.
I was going to say AKA Rob Lowe.
he overheard one day that a father was going to sell his daughter into
Sexual slavery.
And he was like, fuck, I gotta get on that.
No.
So he put her in his sack.
No,
and
Jesus
he
Christ, no.
Took her back to his lair.
No, what
on
he
top
did...
of Mount
is what
Olympus.
Jesus'
No,
dad
that's
did.
not what Santa Claus would do. Here's what he did. He just found some money in his pocket and secretly gave it to them. That's miracle one.
Didn't
I
he
don't
also
see
punch
how
a
that's
guy?
a miracle. But that's the beginning of gift giving, saving a girl from sex slavery. 2, a butcher was chopping up children, and Santa found out and put the kids back together again.
What's... Hang on.
Yes.
How?
Christmas magic.
So,
Oh, okay.
so like when he put the children back together again, was it kind of like an uncanny monkey's claw back from the dead thing, and this corrupted species of elven children became the race of elves
Oh God.
that he took
And
to
then they
his...
tore him apart.
No, do not
Like the island of Dr. Moreau.
do not ruin Santa's mythology like the movie that we will be getting to later on. No, Santa's great. You guys suck. I'm Santa. Hey, good
You
luck.
are Santa. You were wearing a Santa
So
hat.
isn't the other famous thing about St. Nicholas that he beat the shit out of a guy because he said he didn't believe in God?
Is that true?
I think that's a true thing.
Yeah, I saw the World Star video of that. So Justin, you're wearing a Santa hat. Didn't you used to wear also the entire rest of a Santa suit? Justin once played Santa in our high school play.
I did.
Talk about that for a while, won't you?
I've seen the pictures. It's glorious.
It was a miserable experience, and I hated it.
Which is weird because I saw that picture and I thought to myself, this is the happiest that Justin has ever been.
It was-
And you said it was awful.
It was legitimately the most unhappy I've ever been.
Well, it did make a lot of sense because the show that was being staged was Little Shop of Horror, and
Yes.
they decided to kind of spice up that meatball by putting Santa Claus into the show.
You were the Bill Murray, but as Santa Claus.
Yes.
I mean, suffice it to say, reviews were mixed.
Not kind. Not kind. Richard Brody was not happy.
But don't you have some fond memories of being Santa, interacting with small children, perhaps?
No, here's the thing. People, little kids are a bunch of fucking weirdos. And I was dressed like Santa. So they kept, like, hugging me. And so I kept having to gently push them away.
It is kind of weird that we slap this suit onto a stranger and suddenly children want to
He can
hug this
touch
guy.
children.
Yeah.
And they didn't realize that they're hugging a greasy 17-year-old, you know? Like,
Who probably smelled like weed.
Well, the suit might have.
I do believe, actually, was it for that show? It may have been. I first started drinking because of it.
Whoa.
Because I had gotten drunk before that. But playing Santa and doing all of the rehearsals, and it was just a hot suit, and it was disgusting, and there were these weirdo little kids. And I just felt like I understand the sense of I need a drink. And then I didn't let up for a good few years.
We interrupt this broadcast to bring you some news.
Yeah, do that.
There's a new nerd shit trailer, and Frank and Justin are all excited about it. Here to talk about it are a couple of nerds, Frank and Justin.
Yes. Oh, are we just using that?
Oh, yeah, I'm not doing it again.
So the Hellboy trailer.
It fucking looks awful.
It does. It
This just in. Nerds think new trailer looks bad.
I had not been more excited since the first Lord of the Rings trailers came out.
I've been trying to prep you for the better part of a year to not get excited for this movie.
Well, here's the thing about it. If it was still Ron Perlman, here's what it is. Everybody's been lying to us and saying this is a reboot and it's a darker. No. It's just a continuation of the Ron Perlman one. Which, if you're doing that, why didn't you keep Ron Perlman?
Yeah, just keep, because okay, Stranger Things guy, he's fine, I guess.
It's good casting, but his.
He's not good under makeup.
His face
and
doesn't
also
move.
The makeup is bad. Yeah, his face doesn't move. The makeup is really bad.
Yeah.
They did a bad job on the makeup. Like, that's why you hire Guillermo del Toro for things, because he's good with that kind of stuff.
Exactly.
He makes sure that, like, when you put heavy makeup on an actor, it's the kind of makeup that will move.
Yeah. And they have Ben Damo in it, and he's British?
Yeah, British guy, not Japanese American. Well, they tried to also cast another British guy, so they just had a hard-on for making this guy British.
Why would you do that? Why would you introduce this character, who's a great fucking character? It kind of breaks my heart, because I had a dream that they would do. I know I'm a fucking nerd, but that they would reboot the movies, do a Hellboy movie, and do this one with the Blood Queen, have him die at the end, but have concurrently a BPRD story going through, then have a FX show of the BPRD.
They're very clearly not doing that.
They're not, and it could have been so fucking beautiful. Everybody's looking to have franchises and these shared universes. Why the hell wouldn't you do that with Hellboy and the BPRD? Have Hellboy die in this, have him do Hellboy in Hell in the next movie, which ties into what's going on Earth of the Hell on Earth cycle. You can skip, you can jump to that. It would be fucking brilliant.
Another huge problem is that the story that they largely chose to adapt, and they're doing bits and pieces of a lot of things from what I could see. Yeah. The story that they largely chose to adapt, as Justin said, involved Nimue, the Blood Queen, aka the Lady of the Lake, from King Arthur's Legend, which adapts a very late in the original Hellboy run story that culminates in Hellboy sort of taking the mantle of the King of Britain. But the point of that story is that it's a late story. It's a culmination of a series-long arc. The fact that they're rebooting a series in the first movie with an end point is nonsensical. It doesn't make any sense. And the fact that they're keeping Professor Broom in the movie when the first movie made the smart decision to follow the story and have him just get fucking murdered pretty early on is, again, they're just making bizarre choices here, and I don't know why Mike Mignola decided to give the project the thumbs up, other than they brought another boatload of money to his house.
Yeah,
but it looks awful.
I don't let nerd shit like this get to me that much, but this one kind of broke my heart a little bit. I was very excited, and now I'm over it.
I was trying to warn you, like in the year leading up to this, like, you don't cast Mia Jovovich in good movies. Like, casting Mia Jovovich in a thing means your movie's going to be bad. I'm sorry. I'm sure she's a nice person. She seems very nice in interviews. She's a very down to earth person. She is fucking terrible, and she is only in terrible movies, and they cast her as Nimue the Blood Queen.
It's we'll keep an eye on this for any late breaking developments. You out there in Plaidville.
I mean, when it comes out in April, we're gonna fucking talk about it.
Oh God, yeah, I'm gonna see it possibly at midnight.
More power to you.
So this week, Justin made us watch the Netflix original.
Yes, you did.
I gave you a choice, a choice that you could not say no to.
It was in the so it was the Christmas Chronicles, starring Kurt Russell.
It came out a little over a month ago, or about a month ago, on November 22nd, on Netflix. It's a Netflix exclusive, and you can tell. And my theory on this movie,
I've got a theory as well. Go on.
Was that it was a Hallmark movie? Like, it was a script that they made for Hallmark.
This seems like the highest budget Hallmark movie ever made.
And it's literally only high budget for 2 actors, and we've already named one of them. The second one is a surprise.
We'll get to that.
And we'll get to it. But
boys,
it's a Hallmark script that they got a big A-list star to star in.
Boys, before we unleash the shitstorm, and don't worry, we will, I want to go around and everybody says one thing that they liked about this movie.
I was going to say this. I was thinking that while watching the movie, looking out for it, and I have 2 things. I do. I'll save them. I'll go last.
Your things will probably be more profound, so I'll get this out of the way.
Not really.
This movie had really great set design and a really, really nice physical props. The North Pole set was beautiful with all the wooden filing cabinets and the weird North Pole steampunk automatic elevator thingy and the wooden alcoves with the books and the fireplace. It was exactly what you wanted. I really liked the sleigh. The actual prop of the sleigh itself. I like the way
it was a little steampunky, but they didn't go so far with the technology that lots of people do. Yeah.
Exactly,
because they didn't have the money.
Well, it wasn't like it had like OnStar on the dashboard. It was sort of just Christmas magic. Everything just had a Christmas emerald green glow that just made it magical. And I shot principally in like the Lakeshore district of Chicago.
Oh no, they did not. They shot it in Canada.
No.
Well, I'm imagining
they shot the whole fucking thing in Toronto.
I'm imagining they couldn't, shut down Chicago to film this turd. So, but it looked the part mostly.
I'll give you that. It did look like a Christmas movie.
So that's the nice thing I have to say.
Frank?
I had, and I should have wrote it down, but I had a line that legitimately made me go, "Huh." And I forget what it was.
Jesus Christ.
That was my one nice thing, is that I had a legitimate laugh line, and the only thing I remember about it is that it seemed like punch-up. Like, you know how sometimes comedians talk about this on podcasts where they pay stand-up comedians, usually a lot of really famous ones, to do script punch up, which is where they hand them scripts that they're filming, and they said, write jokes in this to make it funnier for like a second, and they just get paid to sit around all day and like plug random jokes into scripts.
Mm-hmm.
There was a joke in here that seemed like comedian punch up, and I don't remember what it was, except that it was just like, heh. I think it was sometime late in the movie when they're in Chicago. I don't know. I'm pretty sure Kurt Russell says it. But other than that, this movie was a fucking turd, and I wanted to die. Oh, I also got a legitimate laugh out of the fucking kid almost getting his nuts sliced off by a chainsaw.
Jesus. This fucking... Know what this movie... Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Justin.
Excuse me, please. Give me a second. I have to remember. Oh, fuck. All right. So I had two things. One, I very much appreciated when the little girl went into Santa's sack. I liked how that was handled.
She went in on Santa's sack.
Jesus. Oh, God, Frank. God.
I got a lot more of these. I was picturing the end of True Detective this whole time.
Oh, no. You... Oh, God. No, I enjoyed the magic of the sack. I enjoyed her going into it. When she started falling and then became a CGI
you
nightmare.
You gotta stop saying sack.
What? It's his sack. It's his fucking sack.
You gotta say bag.
It's Santa's fucking sack. There's nothing wrong with that. If you sit on my lap today, a kiss, a toy is the price you pay.
Pay me my price, little girl.
Jesus! No! That is hacky and disgusting. I had another thing. I'll get to it whenever I remember. Wait, no. Fuck you guys. You're gonna sit here and wait while I think. You've been a bad little boy, Frank. Okay. So it's the sack. Shit, I had another thing I enjoyed.
Was it the dick?
Oh my god, I need to think. It was.
While Justin's thinking, I did also get a mild out of the cameo at the end.
Yeah, that wasn't bad.
No, let's talk about that.
So this movie, you've actually probably seen it because it did very well on Netflix. Kurt Russell is Santa Claus to a group of a pair of despondent children whose dumbass dad gets killed in a fire because he's a big old dum-dum.
What a dick.
What an asshole.
What a dick.
They're raised by a single mom. The teenager is a Grand Theft Auto doing kid who's stealing cars and potentially drinking beer and hanging out with quote-unquote gangster friends.
Yeah. This movie had not one, but two multiracial street gangs.
Yeah.
Oh, boy, we'll get to it. And they see Santa come to their house on Christmas Eve. There's a shot of them discovering Santa's sleigh that I'm sure in the script is supposed to be imbued with wonder and awe, but it's this pull-up, and it looks cheap as shit, and the sleigh looks like garbage, and the sense of space is just completely off. Like, the shot of the sleigh is completely cramped. Like, it takes up most of the frame so that it looks bad, and the sleigh looks like shit. I already said that. But anyway... they have a whole adventure. Santa needs to get his sleigh back and the reindeer and make sure that everybody gets all their toys and presents on Christmas Eve, or else the Holocaust is going to happen and the prison population is going to increase because crime increases without Santa Claus, especially in the city of Chicago, is what Kurt Russell Santa says to the Chicago PD officer. Fucking anyway, at the end of the movie, Santa gets back to the North Pole. Who's Mrs. Claus? It's Kurt Russell's longtime life partner, Goldie Hawn.
And when I saw that, you got a little chuckle from it. When I saw it, I felt so terrible for Goldie Hawn because Kurt Russell seems like he was having a fun time in this movie.
Yeah, he probably was.
No, he doesn't. He seems really angry throughout this entire film. Every line he delivers, there's a smoldering rage behind his eyes, and it shines through absolutely.
I have two theories on this film. My first theory is that this was written by a terminally ill child, and it was produced for what's it called? The Final Wish thing.
Oh, Make-A-Wish.
For Make-A-Wish, and that's why Kurt Russell is doing this movie. But then after the fact, they found out that it was written by a 40-year-old pedophile.
It was in this movie. So they end up in Chicago. The family is originally from Massachusetts, and Santa's sleigh lands them in Chicago. And the Chicago PD officer is... There's so much intrusion of realism that I don't appreciate in this movie.
Yes. Santa Claus, everybody stop for a second. This is the moment when I threw up in my mouth. Santa Claus says fake news. Ugh!
Yeah, as soon as they meet Santa Claus, he says fake news.
Which means that Santa Claus watches television, sees Trump on television. He is a Trump supporter.
Probably is. He wears a lot of red. He wears a red hat.
He wears a red hat, and he wears a long trench coat mafia-esque
He does. It's weird.
red jacket.
It's very weird looking, the coat they have on this Santa. And it looks cheap, too. But anyway, so the Chicago PD officer is very realistically questioning why this old man would be in the company of these two teenagers. Not even one's a teenager, the other is a small child. Mm-hmm. And he's like, "You're from Massachusetts? You're crossing state lines with these kids?" And it's like, Jesus Christ! This guy thinks he's, speaking of True Detective, he's uncovered this huge pedophile ring. But also, state police would not be detaining this person; those are federal charges. But anyway, the other intrusion of realism that chilled me to my bones was the shitty teenager kid is rustling through Santa's ball sack for the little girl who goes into the North Pole from Santa's sack, and he's in what I assume has got to be Wicker Park, but they don't say it's Wicker Park because it's fucking Toronto. And this multi-ethnic street gang that Tom references tries to shake him down for the sack. And they say to him, "For what's about to happen to you, you still think it's worth it to keep onto that sack?" And it's like, this kid's about to get fucking tortured. And they threaten to throw him in a furnace alive and dump him into a trash can.
Yeah.
In this Christmas movie.
You know what this movie felt like to me? If anybody's a fan of the show American Dad, it feels like one of the Christmas special episodes of American
those
Dad.
Are actually, not to out myself a little bit, but those are actually pretty good.
No.
We're American Dad fans here at Plaid Lads. And it felt like that with none of the comedy. You could also substitute it felt like although I'm not a huge fan of this show, it felt like a Rick and Morty long special, again, without the humor. It just felt like a caricature of a hammy, terrible Christmas tale that was completely mirthless, and it was Boomer Daddy Claus getting her done.
Now, here's my second theory. My second theory is that Kurt Russell himself wrote this film. The reason I say this, and why I say I think he had fun in it, is because I'm positive he insisted that the musical number get put in there.
Well, see, that's why I think it wasn't written by Kurt Russell, and I'm going to present my alternate theory, but I'm going to let you keep going for a second.
No, I'm done. I think I always had a warm spot in my heart for Kurt Russell. I thought
I love Kurt Russell.
Yeah. This movie, honestly, made me question, is he good?
Because he is good. He's not good. He's not good in that.
I saw him being as Kurt Russell-y as he has ever been in this film, and it was terrible. And I will not just lay the blame on the poor, pathetic soul who wrote this.
Well, I have a theory about who wrote this, and I think it's pretty accurate. So Justin is referencing they detain Santa in a fucking Cook County jail, like fucking good luck, Santa. You're about to get fucking shanked. And Santa in this county jail encounters none other than Little Steven from the E Street Band and the Sopranos.
Yes.
In this jail in a terrible wig. And he gives Little Steven a guitar and all of the other inmates instruments. He gives the black inmate a trumpet.
Yes.
Well, at least he didn't give him a bass.
That's true.
But he gives the black inmate a trumpet. He says, I've never played trumpet before.
I don't know how to play this.
The previous musicians, he knows are musicians. He has given them instruments before. This guy has never played fucking... He gives a black guy a trumpet.
And this black guy like Justin said, he very rightly says, I have never played this before. And Santa says, fuck you. You know how to play it now because of Santa magic. And on the cell across from them are 3 black women
Yeah.
in Santa costumes who are singing backup.
Now, okay. I'm not saying the
But
scene.
here's where my alternate theory comes in real quick, Tom, and then I'll let you get to it. My alternate theory is that Jim Belushi wrote this movie because he's the only person I can think of who would have a Blues Brothers number in the middle of a goddamn Christmas movie.
Yeah. Yeah. I could see him writing it and thinking, this is my big chance to come back.
Yeah, this is my big chance.
And then they give it to Kurt Russell. Has anybody checked on Jim Belushi since
He
this
was
came
excellent
out?
on Twin Peaks.
He was.
He's dead now.
Oh, hell, I'm dead.
He's in hell with his brother.
Oh, no. They would both be in hell.
That's not the only instance of Santa racism. Early on, and I thought I enjoyed the beginning of the scene when they go into the restaurant and he's talking to the person working there, and it's the whole thing of like, I know all these things about you. And,
there's a thing that made me mad that's not going to be the thing that made you mad, but I'll let you talk about it.
oh, I kind of liked that, but then he goes around asking people to help, and then he starts speaking. What language was that?
I don't know, but
Some sort of South Asian language, perhaps.
yeah,
Hindi
that would be
or-
my guess.
Which he
Hindi or Urdu.
He has proven that he knows all of these people, and then the guy says, I speak English.
Yeah, he says, I speak English, you jerk.
Oh.
But there is a thing earlier in that scene where he goes to the hostess of this restaurant and he says, oh, your dream was to be a fashion designer. And he looks at the fact that she's a fucking hostess making money and says, I guess that fashion design didn't work out, huh? So she is immediately enthralled by Santa. What she should have said was, fuck you, buddy.
Yeah.
Get out of my face.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, I mean, all of this is bullshit because we find out at the end that he was just playing possum and he didn't need to do any of this shit.
Yeah.
But I just like how Santa, with his ability to break the rules of conservation of matter with his jacket, is having to like borrow a car from strangers and getting thwarted by a crabby bartender. And
Now, here's the thing, though. This was such a terribly written film, but at the end, I had the realization: was this movie trying to do something and failing spectacularly? I think he allowed himself to be in jail. He allowed the kids to think that the hat was the magic thing because he was saving the kids' Christmas. He was saving the one cop's marriage. He was all of these things. Which, no. No. You have not earned that film. You don't get to do that. You can be a dumb little, fun little, sexy Santa running around. Fine, have fun with that. Don't try to do a thing, you fucking piece of shit. Eat my shit, you fucker.
I was just thinking about this right now when you were talking instead of listening. This could have, when I think about the lines as they are and how bad they are and the story and how nonsensical it is, I think this could have been like a Fairly Brothers movie.
Yeah, that would have been funny.
If it had that like dorky, endearing, earnest tone to it.
Yeah,
it could have worked.
It
could have worked, and you would have gotten to see Santa fuck probably, and I would have preferred that.
Yeah, that could have worked. It did have the feel of that. I had another thought, which I thought the movie was going in this direction, which is I would love to see this almost a found footage movie. Maybe not, but I would like to see the movie that this set out to be, which is kids trying to capture Santa Claus on film.
Are you hearing this? Are you hearing this, Jewish Santa? Are you hearing this, Steven Spielberg? Are you going to make this Super 8 Santa Claus movie that Justin so desperately wants to exist?
No, but
he might do that. He made fucking Ready Player One. He might do that.
But think how fun that would be of the whole time the kids are trying to capture Santa and there's no stakes. Oh, there's no Christmas spirit is only 15%. And that means that the world's going to explode and a second 9/11 will happen.
He blames the Holocaust and World Wars I and II on people not believing in Santa.
No, okay.
No. Not on people not believing in Santa. On him not delivering presents.
Listen, he says the Dark Ages,
but then he says all those wars you've read about in school.
Yeah, it 100% is saying the world wars.
It doesn't matter what war he's referencing. I think blaming wars on
yes. This movie has gone in such a direction in terms of the Santa mythology, in a direction I would not even think of. Yes, elf and stuff do have people aren't believing in Santa, so my magic sleigh's not working. Okay, but you don't blame atrocities or the rising crime rates
in the city of Chicago, which is a real thing.
Now, the thing that's really annoying in all of those moments is Kurt Russell's performance, which is with mirthless dickishness and anger intensity, where when he says to the black cop, mind you, which it always, when he's talking to the black cops, it's with a certain kind of disrespect I don't appreciate. And then when he talks about the rising crime rate, it sounds like a threat.
It's like a Fox News grandpa way of putting it, the way he says it.
Yes.
It's like, especially not here in the city of Chicago.
That's why I legitimately had to look in the credits to see if Steve Bannon produced this film. It's what would make this movie make sense if Larry the Cable Guy played Santa. If this was on country music television.
Hey, little girl, you ever fart so hard your back cracks?
Jesus Christ. Now, all of that being said, fuck this fucking movie. I cried 3 times.
Okay, before we close out the discussion, what 3 things made you cry?
The end of the opening terrible, painful segment.
Bad opening sequence.
Where it's all these home movies, and then it kind of pulls back, and you see it's the little girl watching it, and her father died. That made me cry. Terrible performance. That little girl is the kid-actoriest kid actor I've ever seen in my fucking life.
She sucked.
She's awful. Also, with the teenage boy, when he
also sucked.
When they're walking along, and he hears, "Oh Christmas Tree" coming from the church, and that was Dad's favorite song.
Why are they singing "Oh Christmas Tree"?
At a church! At a fucking church!
This movie sucks.
The second time I cried, and I thought, that is a very interesting thing. When the little girl is at the North Pole, and she's looking through the letters, and finds that her brother that year had sent a letter. And I thought, if it paid off in any way later, that is fucking beautiful. That it's this little girl and her tough brother who's going through rough times finds that him at like 18 has written a letter to Santa. That's heartbreaking. It doesn't pay off. It's bullshit, dumb shit. Third time is at the end of the movie when the kid, it's revealed what he asked. He asked Santa if he could talk to his dad. Santa sends a letter back saying, "I can't give you that, but what I can give you is a Christmas ornament where I trapped your father's soul inside of it."
Forever in amber. I am Santa. I am an evil necromancer. You might call me the Antichrist.
But
Because your father is trapped here on this tree forever, little boy.
Forgive them, Mother, for they knew exactly what they didn't do.
But the kid says to his dead, trapped father, "I'm proud of you." The dad says, "I'm proud of you back." It made me cry.
This fucking thing drove me to madness last night. I was so angry.
Fucking A, like, I wanted this movie to be good. I held out some hopes during the initial sequence before the mother came in, and with the sheer force of her terrible performance, stopped this
It was
movie.
awful. I feel bad for this lady. You could tell this lady was like, she's done like soap operas, and this was maybe a little bit of a break for her.
She was in two of my favorite movies of all time, Father of the Bride Part 1 and 2.
As what? Like,
She's
As
got
the
me
bride!
yeah, it just kept getting worse and worse and worse and worse. I wanted to like this movie. I really did. I was looking for excuses to like it. Then the fucking Nordic, Scandinavian, Aryan super race elves.
Yes! Yes!
Who are just tasteless and violent and not well incorporated into the live action, and also just sort of weird. Are they cute? Are they minions? Are they sort of like Ewoks?
That's what they wanted. They wanted these to be minions. They wanted that to be the thing.
And then the one tried to cut the kid's balls off with a chainsaw.
Yeah.
Now, in a little bit of defense of the elves, I appreciated that they tried something different that I haven't seen, because oftentimes you'll get either dwarf actors as elves. You'll get in Fred Claus, they had dwarf actors that they superimposed the faces of famous actors on.
No.
That's bad.
Fucking way.
Yes, it's terrible.
That's
Then
a hate crime.
the Santa Claus has children playing elves, which is boring and I don't like. Or you get something like Elf, which is actors and
Peter Jackson, with hobbits.
exactly.
Except unless it's Will Ferrell.
Exactly. With
Fuck
this,
that movie, by the way.
No, that's a holiday classic. You're a little naughty boy.
Are you gonna spank me, Daddy Santa?
I'm going to put you into my death bag.
Oh no!
Like Krampus, another underwhelming Christmas film.
That's a bad one too. But
Yeah.
I appreciated what they tried to do with the elves. I hadn't seen that before, but they were terrifying, and then they just started dancing for no reason, and they were speaking in some sort of Nordic dog whistle.
Was that a real language?
I want to say it's Finnish because
Yeah.
there's something very Finnish about this Santa, which is that the Finns were co-belligerent in the Second World War, meaning they weren't like they fought the Nazis, but they also at one point invited them in to help them fight the Soviets. They weren't on anybody's side, and that's what this Santa Claus was. He wasn't on anybody's side. He wasn't really good.
He has a line at the end. Did you guys catch this when he's talking to Goldie Hawn? Where he says, "Oh, I got to speak a lot of English this time." It's like, what the fuck are you talking about? You've been speaking English since you've been on screen. If that line to make sense, he would have had to have been speaking that weird Scandinavian Finnish language from the Jump Street.
Yeah,
and he wasn't. He was speaking English.
Yeah, I think that was meant to be like that and the sort of tossed in afterward stop in Mexico City. We're meant to sort of oh no, he's a global Santa Claus. He's for all the children, not just the white ones in America land.
Even though he kind of is, according to this movie. Anyway, this movie fucking sucks. I hate it. I wish I had watched Charade or It's a Wonderful Life or anything else instead.
Oh,
I still liked this better than The Last Jedi. Fuck you guys.
Off.
Jesus Christ.
The plot made more sense.
Jesus Christ.
I was expecting Justin to be the one to like this, and Tom and I would represent a united front of hating it, but it warms my heart that Justin hated it.
I am not a madman.
Merciless.
I love Christmas, but I have standards, guys.
Yeah.
Also, what are we supposed to think of Netflix? Right? So if I hear there's a Netflix original movie, you'll either get this or the Coen brothers. Yeah. What does it mean anymore?
There's no middle ground.
Jesus Christ.
I don't think I've ever seen an okay Netflix original. It's always something I have to turn off after 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Or
beautiful stuff.
Yeah. By the way, did you guys see the Coen Brothers one yet?
Not yet.
It's great. Also, there's I forget what it's called, and I haven't seen it yet. But there's one with Paul Giamatti and Catherine Hahn that's supposed to be very good.
Oh yeah, that one sounds amazing. It's called Personal Life.
Yeah.
Well, God damn it! Now I just want to see the Coen Brothers direct one with Jeff Bridges as Santa Claus.
That would be good.
Modern Jeff Bridges, where he's always from the South, and it's pretty terrible.
Yeah, it would be Christmas True Grit.
Better than this.
Ho ho ho! I'm Santa.
Basically, just Christmas True Grit. It would be amazing. Why don't they just why not in this world of wacky reboots and zany sequels and bullshit crossovers and universes? Why can't we just ask for Coen Brothers? Here's a sack full of money. Make True Grit again, except it's Christmas.
Let's do it.
We'll stop talking about this fucking movie in a second. But here's what I beg of the world. We can do. It's just like Marvel movies and shit. Like Christmas movies are a genre. Specific Christmas Santa Claus movies are a specific genre. We don't have to keep making the same fucking movie. This is the same as the end of Elf, which the last 15 minutes of Elf is this movie, but done well. You have they're always the same. It's saving Christmas, and it's about Christmas spirit's down. We don't need to do this. Here's my pitch for a Santa Claus movie. Santa Claus, and this is my real pitch. I've told Tom this before. I might want to make this at some point. Okay. Santa Claus is real. He is immortal. However, he hasn't been active in the way that we think in like 100 years. That explains away why parents don't believe in Santa, but people are still getting gifts. Now, this Santa has realized people are handling it themselves. He doesn't need to do that. So he just wanders the earth like a masterless samurai.
Or the Incredible Hulk.
Helping out children who have no hope as he goes along the way. Or there's a young poor child, and he gives Christmas gifts to him. He's about inspiring hope in people who have no hope. Now there's this kid who witnesses a murder. Okay. And Santa Claus must protect him from the drug kingpin, played by the guy from the Mr. Brightside music video.
Okay. So
at the end of the movie, Santa Claus jumps in the way of a bullet. He does not fight anybody because he's nonviolent. But Santa Claus fucking dies.
Directed by Clint Eastwood.
Fuck movies. The world is dying. Christmas spirit lives on. God bless America.
I was gonna say that's the plot you described is just the War Child story arc from Grendel.
Also, I would think it would be great. I know is he dead? If Mickey Rooney played Santa Claus.
Yes.
Mickey Rooney's been dead for years, unfortunately, and suffered horrible elder abuse before he died.
Oh, it's a goddamn shame. He was the best Santa.
When was he Santa?
Rankin Bass. The Year Without a Santa Claus,
okay, yeah.
and Santa Claus is coming to town.
Yeah, he was.
Learn your Christmas history.
It's time for music here on the Plaid Lads. And it's time to talk about our favorite Christmas songs. And maybe it's not a Christmas song. Maybe you like the dreidel song. Hey, it's a free country. For now.
Yeah, for now is kind of a big one.
So whether or not it's Father Christmas or Annual Gift Man. Jesus Christ. Or Jesus, the little baby who puts candy in your shoes if you live in Germany.
It's true.
It's true.
Tell us your favorite Christmas song. Email us at plaidladspod@gmail. Goodbye!
Justin, I have a couple of favorite Christmas songs. I wonder if they're the same as yours.
Let's hear it. Probably not.
A number one is kind of both of my choices are kind of basic depending on what country you're from.
Mm-hmm.
A number one for me, number one with a bullet. I'll do my top three. Mm-hmm. Number one, Fairy Tale of New York.
Mm-hmm.
Great song,
Great
classic.
Song. It's a beautiful
great song to get drunk to at Christmas. You know what's funny is literally no one else sounds good singing that part because they don't sound drunk enough.
That's true. It's accurate.
Like, you have to have Shane McGowan's fucked up teeth and constant alcoholism to sing that part, and nobody else does it.
With me, babe. I put them with my own. Can't make it out alone. I built my dreams around you.
Yeah, exactly. You can't do it like that.
The boys of the NYPD choirs now singing Galway Bay, and the bells are ringing out for Christmas Day.
But anyway, number two is
Oh, The Waitresses.
Oh,
yeah, that one.
No, wait, that's a different song.
That is a different song.
What?
That's not
I was
The
thinking
Waitresses.
What?
That was
This Christmas by Donny Hathaway
Yes.
is number
Fuck yeah.
two.
That's number one, baby.
And number three is number one in the British Isles and has not made much of a crossover here, but it's Merry Christmas, Everybody by Slade.
Oh, yes. Now here it is. Merry Christmas. Now we'll have a ball.
It's a great song.
It's a good one.
What about you, JJ?
So, in no particular order, this Christmas, Donny Hathaway is number one. I'm throwing in there, I don't even give a flying fuck about it. All I Want for Christmas Is You, Mariah Carey.
It's a good one.
It's beautiful. It's a great song. I'm throwing in this. This was a discovery of a few years ago, and it's on my second Christmas album. This was where I was kind of hoping you were going when you were talking about the Slade one. It's called Merry Christmas, Everyone by Shakin' Stevens. This weird Welsh man. But it's a beautiful song. You can check it out on my second Christmas album, welcome to wonderfalls.bandcamp.com. But I have one Christmas song that I can't ever bring up because I don't know how people are going to take it. I legitimately love this song, and it's a legitimately great song. It's funky as fuck, and it's beautiful. It's like a takeoff on I Saw Mommy Kissing Santa Claus.
Uh-oh.
It's being sung by a young child. The song is called Santa Claus is a Black Man.
Wait, hang on.
By Akeem and Teddy Van.
Oh, okay.
It is a beautiful song, and it fucking grooves.
Santa Claus is a black man.
Go listen now. And
Claus is a black
another one
man.
that I discovered this year is an Elton John song called Ho Ho Ho, Who'd Be a Turkey at Christmas Time. Get on those.
All right. I still recommend Slade overall.
Slade is great. Yeah. Tom?
Makes me want to drink beer, like celebrate Christmas by drinking a lot of beer.
Yeah. The Brits... I'm sorry to interrupt. The Brits and the idea of Father Christmas. I prefer...
Father Christmas to Santa.
Yeah.
Better figure.
Father Christmas is Santa to me. That's who I'm thinking of. What he's about merriment. It's not about children.
Oh!
It's about the Christmas spirit. It's about getting drunk.
I forgot another big one because I forget what it's called.
Uh-huh.
But the Kinks one.
It's called Father Christmas.
Father Christmas, give me some
Well,
money.
now that you've stolen...
I was going to say, and then I didn't because I was going to save it for Tom.
Okay.
Well,
Tom, tell us about that great song.
Well, I'll just leave the tatters for you guys. So yeah, one thing I like about Father Christmas is that it kind of gives you the other side of the coin, which is that that often that Christmas is about a lot of people who don't have enough and that are wanting, and yeah, and the anger. And who better than to remind us of our righteous anger than the Kinks, as they do so well. Another great one. I'm surprised Justin didn't say this one, but "Must Be Christmas" by the band.
Yeah.
Off of a non-Christmas album,
Which is some of my... I love when that happens. There's a song from that did not get to go on my latest Christmas album, and I'm so excited to put it on a regular album.
It's that was Northern Lights, Southern Cross, right?
I believe
it was
so.
the album that was on.
Speaking of Christmas songs on non-Christmas albums, honorary mention to "Christmas at the Zoo" by Flaming Lips off of Clouds Taste Metallic. Great music video for that as well.
Previous guest on our show.
previous
Previous guest on our show, Wayne Coyne. We got to the bottom of his racism.
No, I don't think we ever did. I think Quasi's got one too.
All your favorite bands. That's what I say this Christmas season. All of your favorite bands. Go try and search for their Christmas song. Daniel Johnston has a great one. Stephen Malkmus and the Jicks have a Christmas adjacent song.
Tom Waits' Christmas Card from a Hooker in Minneapolis.
Oh, yeah, I've been trying to get on one of my albums for literally every year, but I haven't yet. They Might Be Giants have a great Christmas EP.
Oh,
or holiday
just
EP.
go listen to Justin's Christmas albums. You'll see covers of all the worthwhile Christmas songs. Great
Bob
Magnetic
Dylan,
Fields.
Bob Dylan had one about 8 years ago. That's really
he had a whole album.
Yeah.
Yeah, the whole album's good.
Very odd and fun.
Here comes Santa Claus. Here comes Santa Claus. Right down Santa Claus Lane.
Twisted Sister have one where they do "Oh Come All Ye Faithful" in the style of "We're Not Gonna Take It." It's great. Christmas is fun for all music. It's like the cheapest fucking thing. It's like I love Actually's a problematic movie, but I do love Bill Nye's storyline in that.
Bill Nye, the British
But
guy.
Science guy, he.
It's just the just cheap disposable Christmas music. There's something charming about it.
All right, Justin.
Huh? Yeah. What?
What else do Plaid lads love?
Well, Plaid Lad loves roller skate. The Plaid Lad love bicycle. Plaid Lad love cheesecake and
This is like a Shonen Knife song.
roseberries.
It is like a Shonen Knife song.
Plaid Lad love
Love.
playing baseball with friend. Plaid Lad love Wait, I'm having a recovered memory, guys. Oh my God, I remember. I remember. Dr. Frasier Crane's having a shitty Christmas, but he's realizing that there are two sides to every coin, the upside and downside. He feels the downside, he finds the upside. It's a Christmas goddamn miracle. Frasier, season 1, episode 12, I think. Miracle on a Third
Yes.
First Stream.
Take that again.
Third or fourth street.
Third or fourth street. We also didn't pause, but cool.
I'm over it.
Right, okay. This is a really funny episode that gives me pause for a couple of instances near the middle when they're at Frasier's apartment. Because there's a part, this really ramps up the Niles is a creep
Yes.
because he is making Daphne try on dresses.
Yes.
It's getting pretty unforgivable.
Yes. Previously, he was reacting, and then he started playing along with these fantasies, and now he's taking definitive actions. It's disgusting. I was legitimately disgusted this time.
It's not good, and there's a line that's kind of only saved by the fact that David Hyde Pierce is an excellent physical comedian with great timing, where Daphne says, "Oh, I had to take my undies off to get this one on," and he drops his sherry glass like right as she says it. Like it's just good timing. But then this is 1993, and Daphne's visiting her Uncle Jackie in San Francisco for Christmas. And she says it's not going to be a traditional Christmas because Uncle Jackie's a quote-unquote transvestite. And last Christmas, I had to rip him out of his hosiery because he had eaten too much turkey.
Which I call bullshit on. If you know, pantyhose, that stuff is like tissue paper. All you got to do is get a run starting, and that shit will pop right off. Well, okay, not for nothing, but there is a difference between somebody who's transgender, experiences gender dysmorphia, and people who are transvestites. These are different phenomena.
Yeah.
I know, it was being played for laughs. Yeah. I mean, it was the 90s. There was a lot of shit wrong with everything. For instance, Frasier wanted to put chili pepper lights on his Christmas tree.
Let's talk about that.
Which made me angry because, okay, I can see it being like a hip, trendy thing at the time. Frasier's not hip or trendy. Frasier is about his own classic style. Frasier would not do that.
I think you might be being a little I won't say tone deaf but tone insensitive because you were a little bitty baby when this show first came out. So you didn't live through the 90s. I think one thing that maybe you were
I'm a month older than you.
Well, yeah, I was also a little baby. And
You're a little baby boy.
We weren't sensitive or sensible to the trends at the time. And I think Frasier was meant to be sort of pompous and a trendy fella. I think a lot of the decor of his apartment and his choices were all pretty of their time.
Chili peppers.
Yeah, I don't know, man.
You don't remember that?
That threw me off.
That was a thing?
You guys don't remember? Okay,
this was a thing in the 2000s.
That scene always takes me right back to my childhood.
You had chili peppers?
We didn't, but my best friend, I would always used to go to his house, and his vagina. Mom would and I would always like open presents and then murder my father and marry my mother and. Thank you. These were all examples of Freudian slips to bring us back to Frasier. But no, Chili Pepper Christmas lights were definitely a obnoxiously 90s thing. I remember those being around.
Gross.
Yeah. And so he has the driving force is that he thinks his son Frederick is coming home for Christmas. And instead, Lilith takes him to the Alps to relive the sound of music, which seems a little weird because Lilith is canonically Jewish. So why would she give a shit? So Frasier is not going to see Frederick. He gets into a big fight with Martin over the decorations and decides to take Bulldog's slot on Christmas Day. And this is a 6-hour slot
Of live radio on Christmas. Why wouldn't they just run a rerun?
Yeah.
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 Or find like or maybe they're admitting they don't have any. Find the only Jewish on-air talent in the entire staff, which I guess they're just saying they don't have any.
The loud guy makes another appearance in this episode.
And he does the same thing, and they play it as a joke, but they add nothing to the joke. It's just that was I loud? Get out of here.
Yeah, he does not last long, as I recall.
Yeah, no, they kill him off in a couple more episodes. And
Frasier gets felt up by a drunk lady who is too... this is going to sound gross, but the lady they cast is too hot for the joke to work.
I disagree. In the
Well,
sense
no. I'm with Frank here. Now I'm thinking about it because knowing how Frasier is and how Frasier recurrently is blinded by his penis, he would have he would have been enchanté.
Enchanté, madam.
No, Frasier's not that. Even though she is the one being aggressive, and she is the one who is drunk, Frasier still would not do that. It's wrong to do that.
I'm not saying that it's
He once
okay to
picked a
rape
hooker
people.
up off the side of the road and had to explain to Freddie what a prostitute was.
That was fake. That was a dream sequence.
But they were walking a tightrope with that whole thing. I don't think it was necessary or funny, but they handled it fine, I think.
They did.
Especially compared to the Daphne shit, which is so awful in this episode.
Reprehensible. But the way they build up the joke, you're expecting like Cheryl from Accounts Receivable to be the drunk lady who feels like Frasier, because that's how the joke should play. Yeah. But instead it's this very conventionally attractive actress, and you think, well, this would just be a love interest for Frasier in a later episode.
Though I appreciate, I don't know if what you're getting at masks the joke and then makes it funny. I do appreciate her just picking him up,
literally picking him up
and carrying him off. I found that funny.
I think they realized somewhere between the script making it past the table read and like the script supervisor and the casting director actually putting this together, they were like, Gil.
This is a bad thing that we're writing, so we need to ameliorate it somehow.
Yeah.
So they let the air out of that tire a little.
Yeah, by making her, air quote, conventionally attractive, it makes the joke the aggressiveness and not a look at this
fat pig.
Fat pig, she wants to have sex. She doesn't deserve it. You know?
Yeah, she's not a
She's not a 10.
emaciated.
Frasier is 10s only.
Yeah, what the fuck is that about? Fuck that shit.
That's
Why does he always bag 10s?
That's in everything. I point you to one of my other favorite shows growing up, the Drew Carey Show.
Wait, was that a thing on Drew Carey? I never watched that. He wasn't with Mimi the whole time?
No. That was his brother.
As no letters, no emails. Drew Carey
I legitimately
Nation.
thought that was the story.
That would make sense, Frank. That's what it ought to have been. And then we got Mike and Molly. But no, he was lusting after his skinny, attractive friend who he was in the friend zone for 7 seasons. Then he finally got his way.
No, that's not true.
After he negged her down.
That is completely inaccurate.
And he threatened to kill himself if she didn't.
No, they were friends. He had a bunch of other attractive ladies. Yeah, we'll get to it. So, but okay, I think the first like act or act and a half or 2 acts are garbage in this episode. The setting it all up, but once he's in the station by himself through to the end, I think is a wonderful Christmas parable, fit for a king or a lowly peasant.
As we will see, as Frasier, our ritzy man of taste and means, is in his grungy depression clothes, which he looks terrible. It makes no sense. They have so many holes in them. So many holes that his wallet falls out. And then he goes to a diner to get a humble Christmas meal. The only place that's open. A diner, the likes of which don't exist in Seattle. I didn't see any, anyway. So he goes...
I'm sure they're not there.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm sure it wasn't filmed on location. So he's in this diner with some delightful people who are poor and are having a Merry Christmas, and he can't find his wallet, so they pay for his meal by taking up a collection, and his heart grows 3 sizes, and then he comes back in a comic shticky thing, and guy gives him a quarter, and he calls his dad, and then the episode's over. Goodbye.
Bye-bye!
The homeless guy says... he points to Frasier's car, which I believe is stated multiple times over the course of Frasier's, either a BMW or a Porsche. And he points to Frasier's car and says, Christmas isn't for the rich guys out there with cars like that. Christmas is for guys like us.
Just go in the full Michael Caine again, which, by the way, wasn't bad.
Yeah. And so Frasier has to, of course, go into his very expensive foreign car after trying to explain to these people that he's indeed very well off, and fails to do so, gets his keys back, and goes off to call his dad. But it becomes a very good episode about Christmas loneliness and how you can get holiday blues, but you have to go right through them and learn to appreciate what matters. And the 2 famous callers who call in on this episode, the crying guy is Ben Stiller.
Oh.
And the old guy is Mel Brooks.
Oh. We should have been doing this whole time. That should have been part of the segment.
Yeah.
Oh, well. I think a good episode. And I think this is the first of a long line of great Frasier holiday episodes.
Yes, the holiday episodes in particular on Frasier are very, very good. My favorite is the Thanksgiving episode that we will get to eventually with Lilith.
That is also the one where they're trying to get Freddie into the...
Yes,
yeah,
into
that
the
is
private school,
my
yeah.
favorite Frasier episode.
Yeah, it's great. Great episode.
Oh, baby, it's Christmas. All right, episode over. No, we have to do the stuff.
All right,
We have to do recommendations.
Recommendation. Da-na-na-na. Recommendation. Ba-na-ba. Time for a recommendation. You there. Hi. Who. What do you do? My name is Justin. Hello, how are you? Goodbye, goodbye, goodbye.
Well, it wouldn't be an episode of the Pod Lads if Justin didn't take a few bars.
What do we want? What do we got to recommend out there for people this holiday season?
Justin?
I'm going to tell you about 4 things. I watched for the first time a couple nights ago. A film called Christmas Evil. It's from 1980. It is written and directed by Louis Jackson, and it's starring Brandon Maggart. It's kind of an early Christmas slasher. It's a man who witnesses his father dressed as Santa and his mother being sexually active as a child.
Oh, I've seen this. You're bringing back memories. Okay, keep going.
It is fucking amazing. It is far closer to Taxi Driver, legitimately, than like a conventional slasher film. It's got a weird, surreal, light, hilarious tone. It is legitimately one of the most interesting films I've seen in a long time. We should have done it.
We should have done that. That's actually a very good movie. That when you mentioned, oddly enough, the mom having sex with the dad, that was like, oh shit, I've seen this before.
It's incredible. Yeah. Go out there, watch it if you can. You don't have to watch it at Christmas because it's just a great movie. Along similar lines of a weird thing, Claus by Grant Morrison, the comic.
Hell yeah.
It's a fun retelling of the Santa mythos, which leads me into my next thing. It's basically the same plot as Rankin Bass's Christmas special, Santa Claus is Coming to Town, which is legitimately one of my favorite pieces of art. I've whittled it down to if that's the only thing I can watch for Christmas can still happen. That is Christmas to me. And finally, my latest album, this is the 4th Christmas album, is now on welcometowonderfalls.bandcamp.com. It's a lot shorter than I was hoping it would be. It's not exactly what I was going for, but it's a different thing. I hope you like it. I love you all. I'll see you in hell.
Tom?
I have nothing.
All right.
I've got nothing to recommend. I've had a pretty busy week. I'm not even gonna be mad at myself here. Frank?
So I have a couple things to recommend. Before I realized we were doing holiday recommendations, I was going to say the first thing I recommend is the BBC detective drama Inspector Morse. Is based on a book series, as many BBC detective dramas were and are. But it's about a police detective who likes drinking beer, but not in a police detective-y American way. He just legitimately enjoys beer and doesn't get drunk. He's just like, I like sipping a nice taste in beer.
This is what the show is about?
No, that's not what the show is about.
Is it
a children's show?
Is it Sideways?
So he is a police detective who solves a bunch of salacious crimes in and around England.
While wearing one of those beer can hats that he's drinking from moderately.
No, he's not from fucking Wisconsin. But his name is Endeavor Morse. And one of the chief pleasures of the show is that it's kind of a who's who of great British actors. Michael Gough, the guy who played Alfred in the 80s and 90s Batman movies, is in it because he was in that stage of his career. If you know anything about Michael Gough, he made a lot of really disreputable...
Try to tell me about Michael Gorf.
Yes. Frank. Stop mansplaining Michael Drunk, Fordman.
I was going to say, if you know anything about Michael Gough, is that for a large part of his career, he played a lot of really disreputable characters in like sleazy horror and crime movies. And he does that very well in the second episode of Inspector Morse here. Also has Roger Lloyd Pack. It has the great Patrick Troughton in one of his final roles in the first episode. Clive Swift is in an episode. It's a real who's who, and everybody's having a lot of fun. And it's really well written and tight and fun, and it's a breezy watch. Inspector Morse. And as for Christmas recommendations, I think I'm going to recommend my favorite Rankin Bass Christmas movie of all time, which is Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer.
Solid.
It's a solid one. And
the first Christmas one?
My very, very close, my tie, it's not even number 2, is A Year Without a Santa Claus.
Also great.
Which Justin has covered on his album. One of the best songs from A Year Without a Santa Claus, the Heat Miser song.
It's true.
What made you not want to do Cold Miser?
Snow Miser.
Snow Miser.
Oh, Jesus Christ, Frank. Going back to earlier how I was saying this album is not what I was planning on it being. I had to cut it because I was running out of time.
I see. Were you doing this like literally right before we recorded?
Yes. Yes. I told myself I will not allow myself to live if this album is not done before we record tonight.
And he immediately posted it on Facebook, folks. So
yeah.
he got it done. But anyway, that's it for our Christmas episode, folks. We'll see you in the new year.
Frank, shut the fuck up, Frank.
Frank, do our plugs and IDs in your serviceable Michael Caine.
Yeah.
All right.
I take it back. It's terrible. Why is he Matthew McConaughey from Dazed and Confused?
All right, my name is Michael Caine. We are at PlaidLadsPod on Twitter. We are at PlaidLadsPod@gmail.com. Follow us on Twitter. Rate us on iTunes. Give us a nice review. We are at PlaidLadsPod on Instagram. Justin is at Welcome to Wonderfalls and Things That Made Me Cry on Instagram. I am at Frank McDevitt on Twitter. Please follow us and leave a review. Thank you. We like you.
My gift to you is not ripping into that impression.
My gift to you is, Tom, is I will do it. You're bad at that. I'm.
Yeah, it's better. What do you have, a wisdom teeth removed?
He's got the mumps.
So we'll see you in the new year, folks. In the new year, we are going to be covering The Phantom Carriage by Victor Solstrom. Ooh. And we are also going to be covering Another Green World by Brian Eno. Legitimately one of the best albums ever recorded. And whatever fucking Frasier episode is after this.
The 13th one.
The 13th one. So, Merry Christmas, everybody.
Merry Christmas.
Have a ball.
Have a wonderful new year. Have a few beers. And love on your loved ones. And don't do the bad stuff.
We might rebrand to a Star Trek podcast in the new year. Who knows?
Engage.
That could be a huge lie, what I just said. This could also be a huge lie. Who knows?
Everything's a fucking lie. It's the Christmas time.
Anyway, Merry Christmas, everybody. Or not Merry Christmas if you don't celebrate.